Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the University of Arts our guest speaker from Berlin, Fabian Hemmert.
Danke. Vielen Dank. So, thank you for the kind introduction. My name is Fabian Hemmert, and, well, when I was a little boy, like 7 years old, I wanted to become a magician. So that's me in the living room with my parents, and becoming a magician fascinated me because you would be able to do the impossible, and that's a great thing to do. So that's one option, what I wanted to become. Another option was become an explorer. Because explorers are very curiosity-driven, like I am, and they're a little bit crazy, you know, going out to all the wild animals, and that's probably not a good idea. It's a little bit crazy. So magician or explorer, or maybe both at the same time. And I believe that is what you all are right now, inventors, and what I am as well, because you do the crazy and the impossible, and that's inventing the future of, for example, mobile phones. So when I was a little boy, I was also fascinated with the stories of Peter Pan and the central idea of we must not grow up, because if we grew up, we would lose the power of our imagination. And, well, I was a little boy, but can you do that? Is that a good idea to not grow up? Well, I tried, and if you look at my career, I worked with Nintendo, which is a typical company a young boy wants to work at, and it's great fun. And then I worked at Marvel Comics, which all you know, of course, Spider-Man and so on. So I love these companies with characters and action, and, well, now I joined Deutsche Telekom. So my friends asked me, oh, the acoustics are wrong here. Isn't your life getting any boring now? Because you worked at Nintendo and then Marvel and now Deutsche Telekom? Come on. Well, of course it's not, because they have a research lab and I'm doing a PhD there. And my PhD is all about our body. So how do we, well, how is the embodiment of our experience, how does it interact with the computer? So if you look at the ways we interacted with computers in the early days, very abstract. You needed to have a special training, be an engineer to interact with the tubes. Then it became like this, which is, well, a bit better, but still really abstract. I couldn't do that. In the 80s, it became textual, which is, well, it's a bit more towards what we know. It's language. Then it became graphical, even better. And, well, since then, if you look at the computers today, it's still very graphical. And some would say that today it's getting bodily, from graphical to bodily. And that's what I find interesting, because we use gestures and touch and the world around us to interact with computers, and that's pretty new, actually. So what I do is a PhD, and I do that, it's called research through design. So I start with a research question, I make a design question out of it, because I'm a designer, and then I find a design answer, and then I extract the research answer. That's the basic procedure. And that means I have lots of prototypes, lots of videos, like you did, and these I would like to share with you. So, let's begin with the first research question. That question was, how can we make digital contents graspable? So many things are happening in the digital world, but we as humans live in a physical world. I think it's a good thing, because we can interact, we can feel the world, we can touch it, manipulate it, and it's so much more tangible for us. So how could we do that with mobile phones? Could we make a mobile phone, crazy idea, that gets thicker and thinner if there's more content or less content inside? So we built that. Here it is. So that's the shape-changing mobile. We put in some motors, and with the motors we can actuate the thickness of the device. So for example, if you have it in your pocket, it's thin. If you hold it in your hand, it's thick. And we can play with the ergonomics. If you change the way you hold it, the phone can react to it. So that's one thing. But I talked about content, and actually, a lot of times we have a large bit of content and a small display. So we start scrolling. So in that case, as you will see here in the video, you could feel, okay, on the top left corner, there's lots of content. I can't see it, but I can feel it's there. And that's what I want to do, put the feeling into the mobile phone. So it's a very simple idea of making thickness a part of the interaction with the device. And you also get an idea of what my job is. It's very much like the contest you did. Make videos, make prototypes of crazy ideas that seem impossible. Okay, so that's one thing we as humans can do pretty good, feel the thickness of something. Another thing we can do very well is feel the center of gravity. Where is it heavy? Is it heavy on the right side, heavy on the left side? Couldn't we use that to make mobile phones, well, give us some information. We tried also that, so that is the shape-changing mobile. So here we move the battery in the device on a motor. And you can feel, when you hold it in your hand, where the battery is. So here, for example, you could not only see this bit of content, you could also feel it. But here, you see, it doesn't make really sense, because you can see it, it's no problem. It makes much more sense if you can't look at the device or don't want to look at the device. For example, in navigation. Here, the phone would guide you through the city like a pulling dog or a Wünschelrute, a divine rod, just by the center of gravity, shifting it around, and you would feel, okay, walk here, walk there, like a haptic compass, basically. So that's weight shift. So we asked ourselves, okay, what else can humans do really well? And we had the idea of using empathy. If you're talking to someone, you get a really good feeling. Is that person, well, happy or sad, excited or calm? And we wanted to put that in the mobile phones. So that is the living mobile phone. So what we did is we put a mobile phone that has a breathing motion and a heartbeat. So you would feel, okay, it's calm and everything's fine right now. But, well, now you missed a call probably, and the phone gets excited. Very excited, new girlfriend maybe. How do you calm it down? Any ideas? There it is, okay. You give it behind the ears, you know? So that's fun, I love this stuff. Because you directly want to, hello, and sit and stay, and all the things you would do with a dog maybe. It's very Tamagotchi-like, actually. So we asked, could we do the same thing with communication? Can we put nearness into mobile phones? Turns out it's really, really hard. What we tried is to put, here it is, grasping into mobile phones. So you grasp the phone and you press it really hard, like here in the video, and the other person can feel it. And people said, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I need that, not sure if I want that. It's a bit too much, you know, it's kind of fake human, and people are very allergic to fake humanness, as we found out. But it's interesting, and we looked into nearness psychology, you know, the intimate space, the personal space, private space, public space, and so on. And what's really intimate is, for example, breath. If you can feel the breath of somebody, they're really close, and many people don't want that, because it's really intimate. But we thought, okay, why not try that? Why not put that into the mobile phone? So we made a whispering mobile. Did you see that in the video? I'll just show it you again. So she's laughing, and the air comes out of the mouth, and it goes through. And people say, oh no, Fabian, sorry. It stops here, you know? You can't put that into mobile phones. I don't want that. Which is very interesting. If you like this area here, it gives you like goosebumps. And that's really interesting that technology can give you goosebumps. Okay. But of course, I mean, it's part of my job, so I didn't stop there, and we also put moisture into communication, because moisture is something, you know, liquids, that you don't want in speech communication at all, usually. So we tried that. So here it is, that's the kissing mobile phone. The press went crazy over it, and the kiss goes through. Again, fake humanness, people don't like that. Interesting anyway, of course. So the next project shows something more useful, which is the question of how can we give texture to digital content. So if you touch the world here, you can feel it, and it feels differently depending on what you touch. And it kind of goes against the paradigm, interface design, make it smooth and easy as possible, because we made a touch pen that we can stop. So we can increase the friction of the pen rolling over the surface. Here it is, and we can stop there's a ball on the tip, we can stop that ball from rolling. So for example, we made a newsreader, and the more important news are, you stop at them. They're harder to go by. Very simple idea. Or imagine the next video will be a signature, and you can feel how much money you are spending. Here it is. Very easy, not much money. But in this one, it's like lots of money involved, big contract, and you hear really, And the next one, actually I like the next one best, that is like in layout software, we have magnetic guidelines usually, and they're like metaphorically magnetic, but we can make them really stuck. You could also use it for like learning to write, and lots of applications for that. And the important thing was to have the idea on the table. You have to try it actually. And to do that, here's the prototype. It's a very nice prototype video. It's a deodorant roller and a bicycle brake. And I mean, whatever you have in the office basically works to just get the idea out of the head and put it on the table. And yeah, we learned a lot about that in the project, actually. Okay, so that was the haptic pen. So what have we learned? What have you learned? There is a job market for crazy people like you and me who do that. And yeah, I mean, getting back to my beginning thought of we must not grow up, I think it's important to do the crazy and the impossible. Well, today it might be crazy impossible, but it might be the future, of course. So that is why we all must not grow up. Thank you very much.